I'm Madeline from Sheen Slings, and this is how to use a Baby Bjorn Mini carrier with a newborn. So the first thing to do before I pop this on is check the setting inside, the height setting. And it has this little ladder so that you can adjust it to your baby's height. However, most people don't actually know how tall their baby is. If your baby is a brand new newborn, just set this to the smallest, and then I'll show you how to change it, how to know if you need to change it. So I'm going to set this to the smallest setting, so all the way up here. And then I'm going to pop this carrier on. Now, your carrier may be in 2 bits, or it may be pre-attached. If it's in 2 bits, we're just going to attach one side into the circle like this, and then I'm going to slip one over one shoulder, and then the other one on the other shoulder, a lot like putting on a waistcoat. Putting on a waistcoat. And then if I need more space, I can adjust it by pushing these backwards, and that's going to lengthen this for me. Same on the other side, push that backwards while pulling this forwards. It's going to lengthen that, and I can pop them in. I want this to be around the height of where my baby's bottom is going to be. So for a newborn, it's going to be quite high. I can have it a bit lower and I might need to make it looser to make it lower as baby grows. And then I'm going to check where this diamond shape is ending on my back. So that is going to be a little bit high for me. So I'm going to slip this back off and move it down. I'm aiming for this diamond shape to sit at the base of my shoulder blades, because if I get it at the base of my shoulder blades in my mid back, it's going to give me the most support, and I'm going to get the most weight pushed all over across my back rather than just hanging off my shoulders. Here we go. So that is now perfect. You can see it sitting right at the bottom of my shoulder blades, and then I can adjust by pulling forward these so that everything is nice and flush. There'll be a little bit of space, but not too much, nice and flush, and then the weight will be distributed evenly. And then I'm going to cuddle my newborn against my chest. I can get them comfortable. A lot of newborns like to have their hands up, so you can help them with that. And then I'm just going to squash this down and bring it around my baby's bottom. And we're looking for this to sit no further than the backs of their knees. A true newborn might be more froggy, just like that, but as long as it isn't opening their legs, or that you're not having to force their legs open, then you're absolutely fine. And then I'm going to tuck their little arms in and start to put these things. So the blue one goes into this blue part here, and I have to go above, and then it clicks into position. And same on the other side, above, and it clicks into position. And then to support the head, I don't want to put this up because I'm going to struggle to see my newborn. It's going to block air, and also they probably might not like that feeling of pressure on the back of the head. So instead I'm going to fold it down, and I want to fold it so it sits in the back of the neck and no higher than mid-ear. And I may have to sort of put a bit of a crease into the fabric. And then I'm going to bring this across, this bit that looks a little bit like a cigar cutter, and it literally just pushes on to the button. And same on the other side. Now we want it to be nice and supportive behind the back of the head. There can be some space, but we don't want to have loads. If it feels like there's loads, that's when we get in here. If I flip this up temporarily and I can tighten these, I can tighten, or if it was too tight, I can loosen it off. So I'm tightening these until I've got a nice bit of support behind the back of the neck, so that baby's still got space to move their head, but they're caught effectively by the material, so prevented from losing control, but they've still got space to move and push against you, which is really important because that's tummy time, and newborns while they're awake are going to want to stretch their muscles, so we want them to have the space to do that, but we want to have that catch so that the head is supported, exactly like that. And then we are done. But if the material feels too gapey, then there is a little thing in here which we can put around here, which will help tighten some of this material up. So if it's feeling too gapey and too saggy through the upper and mid back, then we can use this to tighten the material. For a lot of babies, we might not need to use this at all, and it might make them very irate trying to do it up. So I will leave your judgment if you think you need that. And then we are done. We know it's safe if we can see our baby's face, if it's tight enough that we can let go and it doesn't feel like baby is pulling away from us. If it does feel like baby's pulling away from us, we're going to lift and tighten through here. If it feels like, even with these, that it's just too saggy and we can't get enough support for baby's back, then we'll put this carrier to one side for a couple of weeks and then try again. But in general, it will fit most babies right from newborn through to about somewhere between 4 to 6 months, where they start to get very wide. Their legs get very long and it feels like they're pulling out, and this gets quite heavy on our backs. However, I do have another video showing using a scarf to help it last a little bit longer, so you're welcome to check that out. And of course, as they grow, we do have that thing that I adjusted at the beginning, so we can make this taller. In terms of when you need to make it taller, we're looking for this to support the back of the neck. So if you find that it's coming down way too low on baby, that's the time at which, when next time you're using it, you just give yourself move a little bit further down that ladder. Again, I don't usually bother to measure babies, but if I notice I would like this much higher, then I move the ladder by that much, and then that gives me that height. If you have any questions about any of this, please do pop them in the comments below. If this has been helpful too, do like and subscribe. All the best. Bye.